So we're going to start out with some sub-assemblies that need to be put together first. This is the assembly that connects the lift motor to the swing arm. So right here is the part that actually connects up to the lift motor. A piece of all thread right here, basically just a aluminum tube that's been anodized black. That's the right length, and finally here's the actual connector together. These all screw together to give us a single piece. And here's the piece now put together. Looks very nice, nice and shiny black. Start by, at the very top end right here is the screw. This or the bolt goes in like that. On top of this will be a basically a switch assembly, so that when the leg is bottomed out, this bolt will move up about 1/4 of an inch and activate a micro switch. Don't have that piece put together, but that's made out of Delron. Inside now we're going to go throw this spring, fits around that, and then this piece right here goes inside, and this gets screwed together. This there would also be the actuator resistor wrapped around the inside. Don't have that in there right now, but that would be added later. Once this is in place in the correct depth, then we go and attach the all thread screw here. So this just screws into the end of this as so. The next part is a retaining piece right here that holds this rod in place. Also, you see an O-ring right here that is going to fit into this little crevice or recess right here. This basically is part of the centering. So put this around here, and this all slides together and gets bolted together next. So here this assembly is now put together, that portion of it. Now all thread is in place, so we're going to take the long piece here and put it over top, and that just snaps into that place. Now to hold this all together, as you can see, the all thread comes in to the bottom. We're now going to use this small cap right here, and it'll thread, and this will be put tight, holds this whole assembly together in one piece. Alright, that completes this portion of the assembly. As you can see, it's put together, and like I said, there will be a piece of a rubber furniture bottom, leg bottom, that goes on this 1-inch diameter. The main portion of the leg consists of these 6 pieces right here. Here are the 2 main struts. These things are 19 inches long right here. You see there's a little bit of a cutout on both ends right here. This is 50 thousandths of an inch thick, deep. This helps in aligning things. Here's the top plate. Pretty simple setup on this thing. Got some holes here on the side for attachments points. The bottom plate right here. This is going to also where the gear attaches. This is the gear. It doesn't have the holes drilled in it yet, but it's been spotted, so it's ready to go. Also, this is the motor, the upper motor, the lift motor attachment piece right here, and here's the lower motor attachment piece. A little bit. This is for the kick motor. So what we're going to do is attach these on here. These go on fairly simply. There's just a couple screws, and you see this area is recessed so that there's a hole right here. This is where the pivot point goes. So we're going to put that in. Alright, so now these 2 pieces are ready to go, and they fit together like such. So what we're going to do now is line up and attach one of these legs to it, the main struts. Use the black oxide button top screws on almost everything here. One, it blends in very nicely. Looks really good this way too. Alright, those alignment pieces, cutouts on here, are really helpful in that just makes this job a little bit easier. I don't have to try to get these things perfectly square because they'll just automatically do that. Alright, so now we've got the 5/1000 of an inch clearance right there. We're going to go next and take right here, we're going to put on the pivot point for the kick arm. We're going to add an additional washer. We're going to put 65 thousandths worth of washers here. These are 60 thousandths and a 5 thousandths on here, and this is basically makes up for the fact that the bearing is thinner than the 1/4 inch metal around it. So that gives us that allows this piece now, these two inner races on the bearings, to mesh together without causing anything. So when I push this down, you can see this rotates very easily, and so does this. We're going to have the same problem on this one. We add another 5 thousandths or 65 thousandths worth of washers and put those on. And then lastly, here is a spacer bar. This is anodized aluminum that's been machined on the lathe to accept this thread down here, and also it's got a little recess. It's a little hard to see, but this allows this to seat properly. So we go and tighten this down, and then tighten the Allen wrench. Whoops, wrong size. Let's try this one. Here we go. Now, telling part is that we can see this all just swings very freely. So that's had to experiment to get all the right sizes here, so we know what in the world I have. So that gives me that portion of it. Next portion now is going to be adding in the next crossbeam arm right here. This one is going to also have the same type of a setup. This one here, we go 5 thousandths of an inch spacer, prevent the metal on metal contact. That goes in there like that. Again, another 65 thousandths worth of washers go in next on top. Put that like that. And lastly, we're going to have another spacer that goes in on this. Alright, so for the bottom piece, we got another spacer. This is a 1.9 inch. Again, we've added our washers. We go and attach this, and it just screws in. And the telling part on this thing is it freely moving? Yes, it is. So, alright, so here, now I've added a 3/4 inch spacer, a shoulder bolt on each of these. We're going to put in our 5 thousandths of an inch spacers, using a lot of these spacers, so buy them in bulk. And that goes on like such, and this attaches in there like such. So now you can see we have the basic pentagram setup, and what we'll be doing is, again, we're going to add our 65 thousandths spacers in here, and then we'll add the crossover pieces that hold the two halves together. Before we start putting together the other half of here, I also want to add in the motor mount connections. Basically, you've got two motor spots that connect. Right here is the kick motor, that when this moves, this actually causes this whole piece to pivot out on that direction. And here's the lift motor mount, which causes this part to lift up and down. So these are basically the same type of a setup. Only difference is that instead of the shorter shoulder screws, I have much longer ones. One's a quarter. This is 2.5, and this is only 2 inch long, because I don't have anything to really screw into. This got the same setup here with the bearings. Added the spacers. I've got some additional spacers. These are short ones. These are only running at 0.55 inch diameter. This goes on here like that, and this is a 1/2 inch diameter or not diameter, thickness, and this goes on also. So we get these things on there as such, and that's our one side. Now into this, let's see, it looks like this one's doesn't want to play, so I have to ream it out there. There, that one's going on. So on here, for the lift motor, this is that piece we created earlier. You see the setup right here. That just slides on top of here. There's no spacers on that one. Not necessary in this case. We put the other spacer here, and you can see now we've got our setup for the lift motor here. Now this, for this side, the kick motor actually connects directly. So if I grab a kick motor, here is one of the kick motors. I'm going to put this on. Right here is the hole that goes onto, so we go and put that in. We're not going to actually connect it up yet. And then put another spacer on top of that. So now we're ready to actually put together the second half of this. Alright, it took a little longer than I thought to get the second half on, but it did go. There was a few changes in the sizing of the spacers that I needed to recalculate. Right now, what we'll do is connect up the lower section of the leg. Alright, now that part's in, and so we've got the basic portion of this done, and like I say, at this point this is a good time to check and make sure the mechanism is clean. There's no binding or anything, and there doesn't appear to be any in any of these movements, so all the parts move freely. So that means the motor, the bearings are all well. So now at this point we're going to mount the motors. Now this has been mounted. It's just a single mount right here, so this is now fixed. So obviously the kick is held. Now what we're going to do is put in here is the lift motor, which is going to go from the upper motor mount, which is all the way up here, and connect into this tube right here, this location. Next part now is going to be connecting up at the lower section, and this is pretty simple. We just go and adjust, pull the leg in until these two pieces match and the holes line up, and there. And then this portion of the leg is basically done.